In this review you will learn how to properly use the Blackmagic app on your phone to shoot professional YouTube videos. Today I will show you 6 simple steps that will turn your phone into a real camera and the image will immediately look great without unnecessary struggles in editing. The first step and one of the most important is to decide which camera to shoot with. Modern smartphones have several cameras. There is the selfie camera, which is located above the screen, and the main camera, which is located on the back. In the latest iPhones, the selfie camera has been significantly improved and now delivers much better image quality than before. Its main advantage is that you immediately see yourself on the phone screen. In the Blackmagic app you can shoot with this camera and still get an excellent result. But if you want to get the most out of your phone in terms of video, you should use the main camera on the back. But how do you use it when filming yourself? The phone is facing the other way and we can't see what the shooting settings are or what's happening in general. There are different solutions for this. For example, special displays, which are now available in many options for different needs and budgets. You can also use a tablet, such as an iPad or Android. You can also use a computer, or if you have a Mac, you can display the image on it. With these options you can turn the phone so the back camera faces you, see the entire shooting process and control it. So the next step is clearing storage space. I open the app. I especially placed the phone here so there is some object for better visualization. The first important thing is to check how much free space you have. We can see it in this window. For example, it shows that I have 47% free space and 4 hours available for shooting in 4K. Next, we go to the media section. Here all the video files we have ever recorded in the Blackmagic app are stored. Now let's go to the settings section and then to media. Here we can choose where we will save the video. I recommend selecting in-app and photo library. This is needed so that you can save videos both in the gallery and in the app. If we choose in-app only, then the recorded videos will go into this section and then you will need to manually save them to the gallery using the share button, which is not always convenient. So it's best to enable saving both in the app and in the gallery. Unfortunately, Blackmagic only allows saving in the app and in the gallery, but not only in the gallery. Therefore, when we choose both options, videos will constantly accumulate in this media section. If you forget to delete them, they will take up space. So from time to time you should go here and delete them. At the same time, they are not deleted from the gallery, only from the Blackmagic app. We move on to the next step, video recording settings. We need to go to settings, then in the record tab go to codec and select HEVC. This is already practically a standard of quality. It compresses the video file quite efficiently, but still works well for editing, so use it. You can also choose the bitrate. Set it to maximum to get as much information as possible in the video file. Next, go to resolution. If you have a lot of storage on your phone and also have a powerful computer for editing, choose 4K resolution. This way you will get maximum image quality. But if you have little space or an older computer that cannot handle 4K video, you can choose FullHD. This will be enough for most tasks, but to have a quality margin, it's better to choose in 4K. Next, go to color space and choose Rec 709. I do not recommend shooting talking head videos in log, because it's a waste of time. With proper shooting settings and lighting, which we will talk about next, you can get high quality image with minimal effort. Of course, if you plan to shoot in difficult lighting conditions and want to give your videos a more cinematic look, you can use the log color space. Regardless of your goals, you may always need additional materials for editing – photos, videos, music, effects and templates. If you cannot create them yourself, use Envato Elements. It's a huge library where with one subscription you get unlimited access to millions of creative resources for any tasks and projects. And if you don't find the needed video materials or music, you can create them yourself in seconds using the content generation tool. Follow the link under the video and take your videos to a professional level. The next step is working with lighting. In photo and video shooting, it's not so much about the camera as it is about the ability to work with light. How you set it up, how you position it, and how good the quality is will determine how professional your video looks. I use a codec SL60 Lite. It's an affordable video light with softbox. It gives a nice and pleasant high-quality image. I also use one RGB light direct at the wall behind me, and that's all. I don't use anything else. By the way, all links to the equipment I use will be in the description. The next step is shooting settings. At the top here is the FPS setting. FPS is the frame rate. I recommend shooting videos like the one you are watching now, YouTube videos, at 30 frames per second. This is the optimal frame rate for social media and platforms like YouTube. Next we have several more settings: shutter speed, ISO, as well as white balance and tint. For those who are not very familiar with these settings, I will show you a very simple way to quickly set everything up. So we go here and press the Auto button, which allows the system to decide what settings to use. If I take the phone and point it at different parts of my room, you can see the settings changing. The app adjusts shutter speed and white balance to optimal values. Modern phones are very good at determining settings, so you can trust it. The most important thing is that when you place the phone on a tripod, you press the Auto button and let the system determine the settings. After that, you turn off the Auto button and they are locked and will not change. And now I move the camera and they do not change, meaning they are fixed. We can do the same with white balance and tint. In general, it is very important to lock these parameters to create professional videos so that shutter speed and ISO do not change and white balance and other parameters do not jump during shooting. And if you want to learn more about how shutter speed, frame rate, ISO, white balance and other settings are interconnected, I have a separate video where I explain it in great detail. The next important settings is here. This is the grid. It helps us understand where the center of the frame is and properly position ourselves. We need to be in the center column. At the same time, our eyes should be exactly on the top horizontal line. If your eyes are on this top line and your head is in the center column, it means you have chosen an excellent position. Now I want to show one more useful thing: special guides that allow you to understand how a vertical frame looks within a horizontal one. Why is this needed? For example, you shoot classic horizontal YouTube videos, but later you want to crop vertical videos. This area helps you understand how the vertical frame will look within the horizontal one. At the same time, the darkened areas of the horizontal frame are also recorded, so in general you will get a horizontal video. Again, you can watch a detailed review about this on my channel where I explained how to use it. Next we move to the stabilization section. There is a standard option enabled by default, but we can also turn stabilization off. At the same time, note that when stabilization is turned off, a bit more space appears. Why is this useful? When we film ourselves, it is best to sit closer to the phone so that we can easily set it up, remove it from the tripod or adjust something. In general, so that the phone is within arm's reach. If you sit further away, you will have to get up or stretch toward it, which is not always convenient. So to stay closer to the phone and still fit into the frame from the waist up, for example in a portrait style shot, you need a wider image. And by turning off stabilization we get a bit more space and can stay closer to the phone. Note that stabilization should only be turned off if your phone is securely mounted on a tripod. If your tripod is on a table, it's better not to turn it off because you might accidentally touch the table or it might not be very stable and the image will shake. In this case, it's better to keep stabilization on. The next step is sound. When we connect a microphone to the phone, the Blackmagic app automatically starts recording audio from it. In this window we can see the connected microphone and make sure it actually works. Then we tap on the connected microphone and see that the volume levels start moving. This means the microphone is working. The most important thing is that the levels stay within the green and yellow zones, then the sound will be at the correct volume. And the final step we will talk about is saving the settings we just configured, because if you set them every time before shooting, you just waste time. Blackmagic has a useful feature that helps you set everything up quickly. So I have all the settings configured here. I press the three dots And here we have presets. Click here, then press the plus icon, give this preset a name, for example YouTube, and create a preset specifically for shooting YouTube videos. You can create other presets with different settings for different shooting conditions. If you want to achieve cinematic background blur in the Blackmagic app, watch this video and learn how to do it. As always, go create and see you soon.